Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for your sign, the one in the title, because it's a bulk introduction. There's a timestamp below if you've seen it already before. For the Mars conjunction with Neptune in Pisces this Saturday. I'm not going to speak at length about this because if you look at the link down below in the description for the Facebook page, I've already posted numerous videos about the astrologers who know what they're talking about this conjunction, and it has a wide range. On the very lowest octave, you can look at it as a suicide bomber willing to sacrifice his life for an ideal, whether it's deluded or not. At the highest octave, you can see that you have really forward momentum with some high spiritual goal or communication, but all the way wrapped through it is the risk of illusion, the risk of being swamped, of your fire being doused by the massive waters of Neptune. So it may well be a struggle to find that highest vibration of forward motion with a spiritual goal or spiritual communication or astral projection or anything. You know, astral projection is supposed to be a bit more tough at the moment now that the South Node is in Sagittarius. So the question I'm looking at is, I mean, it's mainly an oracle card reading, but the question I'm looking at is, how best can we use the energies of this conjunction? I mean, you can ask a question of your own, in which case pause the video, think of the question, focus. You've heard my spiel on other videos. But really, this is more of a, I'm wanting to look at the energies and the forces that are involved at the moment, because there's a lot going on in the world, and you know, macrocosm, microcosm, there's no doubt a lot going on in all of us. So, if you like the video, please press like. Thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed so far. If you do like the video, subscribe, and then you'll get to see more of it. And or, well, please subscribe, and or join the Facebook page, because that way you will always see my videos as I post them, and all the videos of places I'm learning from. Well, not all of the videos, but you know, there's, as I've mentioned before, the astrology podcast average length is 2.5 hours, you know. So that is, you can go and find the astrology podcast if you want to. But in the meantime, I don't think there's anything else to say. So, and there's a link down below for this month's Western and, for the first time, Chinese zodiac sign monthly readings. Okay, let me bring up the cards. In fact, just before I bring up the cards, I just want to read out the inside degree of this conjunction. Now, I'm reading Pisces 21, or the 21st degree of Pisces, because this conjunction occurs at 20 degrees 56 minutes, so towards the end of the 21st degree. So it's pagan fire worshippers dancing, trance states, at home in psychic realms and other realities, the self-abandon to the tribe, to the sweep of the moment, to the energies that arise, on fire with longing and poignant bittersweet reflections, a throwback, a native, a primal soul, emotional, depth-centered, superphysical. You are energized tremendously by special occasions, extraordinary meetings, unexpected miracles and tragedies, expectant and waiting for something wild and unknown to break through, mediumistic, vicarious, and charged with a life force that must be followed out, a certain distinctive fate, to be at times disappearing and gone, and at other times resurgent and mighty, all dependent on the tides of fortune. And it will always change in unpredictable, exciting, disorienting, and multiple ways. Considering the world situation as we head into this conjunction, I think that is quite poignant. And it goes to demonstrate what I was saying about the lower to the higher vibration. Be wary of delusion during this conjunction and during the energies of this conjunction. Mars later sextiles Uranus on the 30th, so I think Neptune may well colour that martial energy for, let me see, it'll be the 21st, so for that it's not, it's the 13th, isn't it? So nearly 2 weeks that Neptune may well colour Martian energy. So now let me finally bring up the cards properly. And welcome Aquarius Rising and Aquarius Moon after the timestamp. And if you are Aquarius Rising, this is happening in your second house, your assets, finances, and the things that you value. And it's very interesting that that's what it is, because we have here from the Energy Oracle, man holding a coin. We have strife over finance, it looks like, or over some assets where decisions need to be made, or quite possibly decisions are made. But with the energies of Neptune, I think that is giving you a surge forward. Now, I am feeling that the majority of these Neptunian energies here are actually quite positive for you. Now, normally, Mars conjunct Neptune, it's not a good aspect. And the previous readings that I've done so far will prove to that. But I am doing a reading to try and find the highest vibration of how we can use the conjunction. And I think that the fact that confusion is coming up for you, it's Neptune, of course it is, through the filter of an attempt to deal with a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and nightmares, is actually going to drive you towards committing to something. And I feel really positive. Confusion, it's like the Hangman card. It's there to make you question everything, to make you interpret it differently. And if you step out of whatever your previous paradigm was and just go, well, hang on a minute, with what I was thinking, with what I was stressing about, that doesn't make sense. So let's see if I can work out a way where it, not where it makes sense, you know, asking things to make sense under this conjunction is a lot, but makes better sense, I think would be a good way of putting it. Then you actually find yourself committing to something that you feel positively victorious about. And this is aside from or next to this issue over finances, resources, assets that's going on. But having said that, the combination of the two leads you to the Ace of Wands clarified by the Ace of Cups. A new dream that you are particularly happy about. One that seems particularly magical as well. Notice there's a line of breath from the man in the moon, basically, to the cup that this... I'm going to say it's a Queen of Cups is holding. But this is going to necessitate quite some changes now, and quite some inner work, because you have to, the Water Guardian here suggests that you need to connect to your emotions. And Orobas here is warning that you need to be honest, more so with yourself than with anybody else. But you really will get an ample chance, Pegasus with nature here, to delve into your shadow side. So I think that this Nine of Swords here that leads on, or is clarified by a Knight of Wands, dive right in to plough through and make sense of it all. This is stuff that affects your family, or it may be caused by your family. You know, there is definitely a family energy all over this, but it's about you and about how you are relating to them or failing to relate to them, I think is, because it's like they're suggesting numerous things to you and you're going, Yeah. You want me to do what? What's the point? I can't see how that is a good driving force forward. What am I going to achieve here? So it's almost like they are wasting or trying to encourage you to waste the magic of this time. But I also feel that some of their suggestions don't want to be ignored outright. Yeah, your first reaction is, what's the point in that? But there is a glimmer of helpfulness in it, because they also need to be filtered through this sense of confusion. Because if they see a point in it, have a look at their logic chain. Even if that doesn't normally work for you, have a look at their logic chain and then see where you can agree and where you can disagree, and just actually do the work, because this is a matter of perspective here for you to really get a chance to level up and surge on ahead forward. This is a really beautiful time to be dreaming and thinking of things. Now, as I film this, the conjunction has actually peaked, but you've got another couple of weeks to use these energies. But the sooner you get on with this, the better. Now, what is interesting is the sooner that you get on with it, the better, because there is this finance, assets, and I do get the impression it's not just about assets in general, although it could be, but I think it's more about how you are able to use or utilize those assets. It's almost like you may have a stack of gold coins, but all of a sudden you can only use your gold coins in Woolworths. And as we know, Woolworths has gone bankrupt and has disappeared. So there's not much point to the gold coins anymore, but you can find another use for them. Melt them down to ingots or something. Or, nice jewellery. But there will be another use, but it's not going to immediately make sense or immediately become obvious. That's the phrase that I'm wanting to... because there is work involved for you here. We have the Eight of Earth, where a man is working like on the Eight of Pentacles, is making his pentacles. Here he's making pots. With the message from Earth, which basically says that you will be rewarded for your hard work. But next to that, we have the card of the Village, which pretty much represents the Tower. So that there is a force that's coming in from outside, quite possibly from this Justice card, that is upsetting the way that things are. So you need to have lots of work in progress or put to one side, so that when this crisis comes, it's not actually a crisis. It more frees you up to do more of what you was trying to do lots of anyway. And that's what I really feel like, that you can't lock yourself away, but you can find your own inner light with your own new dream that you're surging forward in, or new direction. And new dream sounds very pretentious, and I don't even want to say, it's almost as if something that's occurred to you, it's something that you wanted to do more than likely, but during this conjunction you suddenly go, what if I do it this way? And that will give you that surge ahead forward. But that is inspired by something that has been said to you, possibly by the family, or inspired by something that you are initially tempted to reject outright. And the thing is, at the end of that thought process, you will still have rejected what they've said, but it will have inspired this new method, this new surge forward. Because there is, the warning here is five of discs, two of wands. So there is this strife, there is this oncoming crisis of whatever it is. But if you have planned and made yourself free from the potential worry that could be there, not because you've made yourself free from the worry, but because you've taken the worry and done something about it, that you have been honest, as Oribus suggests, because efforts to delve into this shadow side of yours and go, hang on a minute, I need to do A, B, and C, but I won't do A, I won't do B, and I won't do C. Why? Why won't you do them? And if you can answer those questions, you can then get to the point of, I'm not going to do A, B, and C, but I can do D, E, F, and it has the same end result, but it's doing it in a way that I'm happy with. Or even maybe one of your ABCs you will end up being a bit happier with, because there's an element of stubbornness. You know, it's just this Hermit card here is talking to me of it's almost like they're going, la 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 la, not listening, no, it's your suggestion and you're wrong, therefore your suggestion is wrong and I'm not listening. And I don't think that's necessarily helpful for you at the moment. But there's also the chance of, why do you assume that they are always wrong? Because through all this confusion, Aquarius, you have the ability to see things really clearly. It's like when you first wake up and you're focusing your eyes. You've got to go through that blurry bit before you go to the clear bit. Now, if you are fixated on some ideal, some this is the way things are, then you don't even get to the blurry bit. But what this confusion card here is telling me, with the village stroke tower, with these decisions that can be laid upon you due to strife, whether this is strife that involves you or just strife that ends up affecting you. I've lost what I was going to say there. Oh, I wish I could rewind while live filming. But this strife, that was it. If you can look at the worries and look at the potential hazards and then go, right, what am I going to do about them? And then get on working the plans, get on working to make sure that you have your contingency plans and that you are clear about your emotions about things, about why your emotions about things are what they are, and then, are they valid? They may have been valid last week, but it doesn't mean they're still valid now. One of the astrologers, this must be a month ago now, was saying about how there's been windows of opportunity for us to, this year, I think it's still carrying on from one of the conjunctions or other, to release other people's karma, because we are never going to resolve other people's karma. We can only ever resolve our own. So there's no point carrying it around. But there's something that I feel that you want to be nurturing towards once you see it, that has the chance of bringing you great happiness. Certainly once Mars moves into Aries, and you get the full strength of this Knight of Wands, this Ace of Wands, pushing you forward, there is happiness there for you as long as you have achieved the correct perspective. We have this ruled over by Person, Prince of Sights, which is all about how you interpret what you see. And on the bottom of both decks, this is lovely, I just noticed this, the Sun on the main deck and the Empress on the clarification deck. So this is all leading to happy, happy, joy, joy, abundance. Because I call the Sun my happy, happy, joy, joy card. So that there is a wonderful energy at the end of this, but going through it It's more than a little awkward. And it's more than a little triggering. So, be triggered. Okay? And then look at those triggers. And these are not just the triggers that are playing out on the national and international stage. These are personal, family triggers, interpersonal relationship triggers, those things that are close to home. And bear in mind that if you are looking after a family, then this is what you are being called to do to protect them. And the world will support you. But at the very start, you can't see that. You can't see that the world will support you, which is what's causing this stress and which is causing you to go, I have to do something about it. But you have to do something about it once you have examined all your triggers, once you have gone through that confused, blurry vision state. You need to go through that blurry vision state. It's like if you're doing a Tough Mudder event, you need to go through the mud before you can get to the finish line. You don't just go around. And so that there is that work inside will actually bring you something that brings you happiness, but also a dream that you're actually proud of, that you want to nurture and grow. So it's not just something that the world or the family has beaten you into doing. It is something that you can go, no, I'm happy with what I'm doing now, and I may have a little less for a while, or I may be a little restricted for a while by forces that are beyond my control, but I'm restricted in what I was doing. I'm possibly still am doing as well, but I'm not restricted in what I am starting and in what I am building here. So, you know, whether the previous thing that you was doing where the restrictions kick in, whether that falls by the wayside or you just keep going along with that restricted, there's this other thing that is coming in that will bring you the happiness that you require. So that's actually a really, really nice, that's probably one of the most cheerful readings out of all of this. This has been a murky energy to look into and to work with. That's why I've done so few readings each day, because first day I did the first 6 and I was frazzled. So yesterday I did 3, and today obviously you're the second of 3rd Pisces to go. And a lot of them, they've given that glimmer of hope of what the high vibration aim at the end is. But by heck were they tough. And this is more hard work but navel gazing, if you know what I mean. It's you're doing the emotional work, but you're doing the emotional work inside. It's not even that you are doing the emotional work in conjunction to somebody else. Because, you know, there's no sitting down and having a deep heart-to-heart with anybody and tears and crying and all of that. No, this is all an internal process that's going on here. But yeah, dive into the shadow, dive into the confusion, question everything. I could call the reading that, couldn't I? Question everything. Which is probably good advice for anybody under this conjunction. But there is, I'm not even saying that you're going to get the forward motion immediately. You can start with the forward motion and it can be really, really slow, but it will take off. Okay, so if that means anything to you, Aquarius, comment down below. I've given you the like, share, subscribe speech, no doubt, in my intro video. That was a couple of days ago now, so I can't remember. But I doubt I'll have left it out. Join the Facebook group and keep posted for more readings. Cheers.